Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video and to episode number 4 of my Monster Energy AMA Supercross 2023 season preview. Of course, the previous 3 episodes, I've done all the other riders in the 450 class, the title contenders in Tomac, Anderson and Webb, the contenders for race wins this year in Barsha, Stewart, Roxon, and of course Muscan. And in the previous episode, I talked about Chase Sexton, Adam Cianciarulo, Dylan Ferrandis, and Justin Cooper. And now I'm going to talk about it's the final episode. Some people might ask, "Oh, you're going to do now? Going to do all the rest of the 450 guys in this episode?" No, because I don't know many of them. So I'm just going to do these previous few. So the ones that I know about. So yeah. So we'll start off with with Ken. We'll talk about Ken Roczen before. We'll talk about now his replacement, momentary replacement at Team HRC Honda, being that of 2021 250 East Coast champion in Colt Nichols. Of course, who is making his 450 debut this year. He's been pointed out of the class, of course. So just like Justin Cooper did. But I said this partly in the last episode where I talked about I can't remember who I think it was. I think I talked about Justin Cooper, I believe, or his teammate Chase Sexton, I believe. That I think this is more of a stopgap thing for Honda HRC. With now with the announcement that was made that Jet Lawrence will be in the 450 class in the outdoor scene, and which means it's probably going to be more and more likely that it will be in the 450 class full time next season. This time next season. Yeah, because obviously for obvious reasons. So I kind of see why Honda would sign him up for this Supercross season, because of course, there would have been so many others that would have been contenders, but obviously Nichols was pointed out of the class. At 250 class, he needs somewhere to go. And I think Honda would provide that fit, and it provides him with an audition performance this season. For anybody that would be willing to take him on in 2024, it would be that. It would be them, and you never know. Probably might do that great of a job. That the possibility is that maybe he stays at Honda with if the rumors are true that Chase Sexton is going to Red Bull KTM. So yeah. So my expectations of Colt probably is just to get through this first season. I think for me, just to get through this, get some experience on that 450 bike, because you never know, you probably might get a second chance on that bike in 2024 as teammate to Jet. If Chase does leave, you never know. You never know, or a better opportunity comes up with another team. That might be a possibility. That might be a possibility of that possibly happening for Colt, if this thing at Honda, Team HRC Honda doesn't eventuate. I think, but I think it's just to get through the season. I think he'll be up there. You might get the old top 5 here and there. But he'll be probably operating mostly around the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th 11th, 12th range most races. But no, he probably might surprise me and just get a top five at Anaheim 1, which I'm hoping to get these final 2 episodes out before the main events for both 250 and 450 for Anaheim 1 come around. Hopefully I get them out in time. As usual, I'm leaving it very late. Leave it to the last second for those, as I always do. Excuse me. Excuse me. Again. So I think that would be the expectation. I think for Colt Nichols, as a rookie. And speaking of rookies, it would be perfectly going on to Christian Craig, who is the reigning 250 West champion. Actually dominated the West dominated the class in 2022. He was challenged on occasions by Hunter Lawrence, but in the end he was just really dominant in that region. And of course he's he's had trials in the 450 class here and there on the pro motocross scene, but it's his first full season. And trials some races in the 450 class in the 450 Supercross class, but this is his first full year on the 450, and he signed with Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, and that means also joining, also being trained as well by probably the best Supercross trainer ever going around in Eldon Baker. Just to add that bit of experience to into the block of riders that he's currently been training with, So and I've seen photos of him. What the KTM, that alliance, as I would like to call it, with KTM, Husqvarna, and Gas, especially with the KTMs, is they struggle most in the whoops. They struggle most in the whoop sections. You can see Musquin has had this problem for years. So Webb you can see most of the time he's jumping through the whoop section, through the whoops. There's been a history. It's not been just them. It's been a long line. Been a history for KTM of the KTM Alliance bikes having problems with these. Some of them. I know when KTM, the Rocky Mountain ATV MC team, when Blake Baggett used to have that hit, he was once called fierce in the whoop section. So and from what I've seen in Christian Craig, my God, everyone's been gushing about his ability in the whoops. He apparently he's come out and said that he can, his ability in the whoop section with this Husqvarna 450 bike is pretty much the same to what he was on the Star Yamaha 250 bike, especially for the whoops. That he can push hard through them. And that's we all know Malcolm Stewart. He's probably the best rider in the whoops in the world, no doubt about it. As we all know, it's gonna be interesting to see how Christian's gonna go. I think he'll go better than Colt Nichols. I won't be surprised if Christian Craig gets a podium or two during the season. I think he'll operate around the around the fourth to eighth range for me. In terms of results, I believe. Because because of course it's his first year on the 450. He's had plethora of experience riding on all bikes. He has ride the 450 in Supercross before, so that does help him on that front. And yeah, I think out of the two, I should say, full-time rookies, which are, of course, Nichols and Craig. I know Justin Cooper's in this, but he's not running all the rounds. I think he, for me, I think he'll be the best of the rookies in 2023. It's a bit rude to say he's a rookie because he has rode in he has got 450 experience in the past. So yeah, I think he'll be the best of the two rookies in him and Colt Nichols. Next person I want to talk about is the third Red Bull KTM rider in that team, that being Aaron Plessinger. Of course, he was out for most of 2022, but he did produce a podium in earlier in the season in Oakland. I think he had a second or third place finish. I think he led some laps in that race, I believe, but I think he finished up in second, and then got injured for most of the season. And was out for most of the year. So yeah. And I think, and it's the perfect time to reveal my most under pressure rider, and that being AP. I think he has to deliver. I think he has to deliver on the talent and show everybody why Red Bull KTM was signed up to him in the first place. And some experts might say, oh, he's not serious enough. Oh, he doesn't train. Yada, yada, yada. Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think he's been training under Eldon Baker? I mean, if Eldon Baker didn't see much potential in him, he would have just kicked him into the curb straight away. But he's still here. He's still training with Eldon. So why is he? Why do you think he's training under Eldon Baker? Because he wants to take it seriously. Don't be fooled by his laid back and fun character. Don't be fooled by that. He wants to be successful, and this is his perfect shot at it. And yeah, I think the old saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. And in a way of don't judge the way that Plessy is going like this and just having fun and that sort of stuff. And he's got the cowboy hat on, which I love in a Supercross rider, by the way, just the way to have fun and that sort of stuff. But don't be fooled by that in saying that, oh, he's not serious enough for this. He's not serious. Well, he is. He is. So I think for me, I think it's the chance this year for AP to prove a lot of people wrong that he is serious about this, and he is, and he can, be a front runner alongside with Coop and Marv as well, and say to all the guys, all the lead directors at KTM, say, hey guys, I know you're going for a guy by the name of Chase Sexton, but I'm not letting you kick me in the curb because a fast, talented rider he wants to be on your books. So, yeah. So, I really do want to. As I said, I think for me, if Chase Sexton does go to KTM, which I don't know if it's going to be, if he's leaning towards there, we'll probably find out in the latter half of the year. if he does consider the move to KTM or decides to stay at Honda, that KTM will have to make a decision. Four spots in the 3 don't go. One of them's gonna have to be let go. I think it's either Marv retires or AP gets the sack, gets the axe born on him. And to be honest, I'm also probably on the fence in terms of that. I think if Plessy has a bad year and Musquin has a good year, and then Sexton decides to go to KTM, then there's the probable chance that AP might have the axe fallen on him, unfortunately, which will be a massive shame for KTM on that front. I think for me, shame for him and for KTM as well that they've let go such a talented rider, and also a very fun guy leave their team. So yeah. Last ride I want to talk about, the last ever ride I want to talk about in terms of the 450 class for this year is a guy that has for the last few years been on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team, that being Dean Wilson. But this year he has not only switched teams, he switched brands. He is now on he's now on the Firepower Honda team, which is aka Markov Honda, aka which is the Australian Honda factory team, which is in Australia, here in Australia. He is going to be on that team in 2023, the sole rider for that team. I think it's hard to see where Dino is gonna go, because we've seen him, you know, as a privateer Yamaha. We've seen him on the KTM. It didn't really work. We saw him on the Husqvarna for many years, and it quite clearly helped him out on that front. Now he's on a new bike. The question is, will he gel with the Honda? That I do not know. If he will gel with Honda. Now, I don't think he won't gel on the team. Because you know, it's very different to, of course, it's like the same thing as Ken Roczen is. Being as a factory rider for many years, now he's on a private sort of team, a satellite type of team, and is the pressure off? The question is the pressure off for Dino? No doubt about it. I think no doubt about it. At his best, he can challenge for top 5s and even podiums at his very best. I think for me, him challenging for wins is probably gone for me, because there's probably too many good riders that are better than him. But on his day, with this team and with this bike, on his day, he can produce a couple of top 10s, and the odd top 5 here and there. So I believe for me, in that front, I believe Dino. I think he will have a decent sort of year. I think he'll do the same thing as what Colton Nichols would do, and that's finish around 7th to 12th, every race around that mark. So I believe that is not really for Dino. Finally, I want to talk about is, of course, my spotlight rider, and of course it has to be Christian Craig, and I tip him to be the 450 Supercross rookie of the year. Beating out Colt Nichols, He's from the footage I've seen him, in training the last few weeks, it really has impressed, and I hope he does have a good year in the 450 class. After having now the pressure valve is pretty much off him now, after so many years of going close in the 250 class, but finally getting that elusive title in the 250 class last year. Is the pressure off him? Probably is. Now that him in the 250 class history is long gone, he's now moved to the 450 class, and hopefully that it's the start of him. It's the start of him for sure. As I said, I tip him to be Rookie of the Year. I tip him I won't be surprised if he has a podium or two this season, and has several top fives and several more top tens add to it as well. I won't be surprised if he finishes up probably top 10 in the championship. I won't be surprised by that as well. That is pretty much it for this 4th episode. A pretty quick 4th episode because there wasn't much to talk about. The next episode, the final episode, I'll be chatting about the 250 class. Telling about the 250 class in the final episode. So stay tuned in for that, as I'm going to try and get this episode and the next step and the final episode out just before the 2 Anaheim main events. Hopefully I'll do that. So like this video. Share to anybody who is a AMA Supercross fan. Comment down below. Do you agree with me that Christian Craig is going to be Rookie of the Year, 450 Supercross Rookie of the Year? Do you think it'll be called Nichols? I would love to hear your opinions. And one last thing, somewhere down there, check out click on the big red button which is labeled subscribe. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later, and wherever you may be, may the sun or the moon shine on you.